Welcome to another episode of Salesforce Partner Connect, and I'm pleased today to have Andrew from Radiant Hub on the call. How's it going, Andrew?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. I think you bring in a very different perspective. So why don't we start from the top and give an audience a little background of you and how you got into the Salesforce ecosystem and how you progressed to where you're at today.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I kind of stumbled into this role in some ways when I first came out of college. I was in customer service, and they were just starting to roll out Service Cloud at that point. And my managers kind of knew I was technically proficient, so they trained me initially to be kind of the tech expert for Salesforce, and that rollout was pretty successful. And then VP of customer service got wind of it. My managers all recommended me to apply for the admin position at our corporate headquarters here in Atlanta. So I thought that was a wonderful idea, and I loved Salesforce from what we were working on, and so I applied for the position, and then moved down here about 8 years ago. And then from that point, I did a whole bunch of studying and got my admin certification within a few months, and then went to Dreamforce and essentially drank the Kool-Aid from there. So I was all in on Salesforce at that point, and have learned a lot over the years. I did a few years in a few years at my first company as the admin. I left to join a fintech company and was their solo admin for a little while. And then I've been at Radiant Hub for the last 4.5 years, doing various odds and ends, being a tech lead, leading managed services, kind of being more of a senior consultant. And my experience has grown exponentially. I picked up maybe a dozen certifications over the last 4 years, and really been able to continue to fall in love with the platform and learn more and more as I grow in my career.
Awesome. So you having been in the ecosystem for so many years, what have you seen change, or how do you think the ecosystem have shifted or changed these past 10 or so years?
Yeah, it's been interesting to see the transformation. Initially we were starting in Salesforce Classic using the call center and just kind of seeing how that's evolved from the migration to Lightning, which I was a part of in my first company. And then, seeing the more advanced features come out, seeing the migration to Agentforce and the use of AI. It's definitely a vastly different product than it was when I first started 8 years ago. I'd say it's become definitely more user friendly. I think Salesforce Classic had its faults, but like everything was just all there displayed. But navigation wise, it was a lot less intuitive than it is today with the Lightning experience. Being able to design custom Lightning pages and components to fit the user's experience has been very rewarding, especially with all the work that we do in the consulting space with our clients, making sure that the user experience is first and foremost what they enjoy most, because that's going to help ultimately with adoption.
And in terms of things that you learn being a leader in the Salesforce space that maybe they don't teach you in the like certification exam and the trailheads, what do you think are some of the things that you learn being hands-on, being in the trenches, being in front of clients that maybe the exams or certifications don't prep you for?
Yeah, I think obviously hands-on experience helps you tremendously, but every client you work with is different, right? So I think the benefit of being in the consulting space is that every client is different and you learn different methods of implementing the same product. And being so heavily involved with those specific clouds gives you access to develop and utilize the out of the box features that it has. We want to be big proponents of knowing and fully understanding the clouds that we're selling and implementing for our clients. So it's absolutely paramount that we get those certifications. We have those full experiences where we can really showcase our expertise to those clients. So I think it's hands-on experience is essential for development. And for those just starting out, I think the word of advice I guess I would give is that consider consulting as a more advanced feature, but start as an admin somewhere or do volunteer work just to kind of familiarize yourself. You're not gonna. It's such a vast program. Obviously, they have dozens of clouds these days with hundreds of
Mhm.
certifications. Just starting with basic administration is the best place to start, I think. And then as you grow and develop, you're gonna find your specific area of expertise that you can grow into, or you can try to be a jack of all trades kind of person, which is more or less what I strive to do. I want to know the ins and outs of every aspect of Salesforce so that I can help solve those various needs that come about.
That's great advice. So let me maybe double click there. So you mentioned, you work with so many different clients. There's like dozen different clouds. Every client's different. Every technology is different. So in your opinion, what makes a successful implementation? How do you define that uh, at your firm, and how do you ensure Salesforce is enabled?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think what distinguishes other consulting agencies from the other is their adoption rate. Sometimes, a particular company or a client are told from the board members, their senior leadership that, hey, we got to have Salesforce. We throw it in there and the end users don't use it or don't know how to use it. It's not properly adopted. So like for us at Radiant Hub, we strive to make the adoption rate as high as possible. We want them to utilize the tools that we build, not just build something based off of the requirements that we're given, give them the keys and then say goodbye and then say good luck. We want to make sure that we're teaching them how to fish, not giving them a fish for a day, right? That how the phrase goes, right? Teach them how to fish. You feed them for a lifetime. So we want to fully equip them, and that's also helped with our longevity. We have tons of clients that continue to come back to us because they know that we have the expertise that they need, but also we help train them to utilize the product better. And we've seen so much growth for their internal teams in being able to be more comfortable and successful with Salesforce when we are the partners that they need rather than just an implementation expert. We want to see it through to completion, but also post completion, maintaining that relationship, being their in-house admins if they need, and continuing that to support them for many years to come.
I think that's a good point, and I think something that maybe Salesforce doesn't do a good job is explaining customers that Salesforce is not a destination, but it's more of a journey. That once it's implemented, you probably need a lot of support, and it's something that it's a tool that will evolve, that will keep adjusting. So it's important to not just make sure implementation is successful, but you're with them along the way. So, in terms of one of the things I like about your firm is that you're also a product development outsourcer. So you build a lot of managed packages, and you build apps in the AppExchange for other companies. So for someone that is looking to launch a new app, I think now even with AI, that I think the bar is lower in the sense that it's easier to deploy and launch an app or managed package. Where do you see the biggest white space or opportunities in the App Exchange today?
Yeah, I mean, AI is everywhere, right? So if you can build a custom agent, put that part of your managed package, you're going to get some interest or attraction from companies that want to implement or buy your product because it's everywhere. If you can build an agent that can simplify a business process or help support your internal teams, that's where a lot of it is going these days. I know we just did an Agentforce implementation for one of our clients recently, and we haven't got the metrics yet, but we've heard a lot of great reviews that that's the biggest opportunity right now is building internal support agents. I don't know if there's exact trust right now for having like external facing with where if they give it custom or private data, what it's going to do, but having an internal agent seems to be where most of the attention is being drawn at from a lot of the clients that we're seeing. But as Agentforce continues to grow and improve, there's going to be more and more opportunities as other clients and customers get comfortable with it as well. And the more Salesforce continues to push it, we're going to see a lot more opportunities that come about there.
Got it. And how are you positioning your clients, or how are you advising clients to better leverage Agentforce? For us, it's very important to let them know or the importance of having good data hygiene and good data quality. So making sure data is clean, data cloud is set up the right way. So how are you educating and making sure clients are
Yeah, yeah. When we have those agent force conversations, if they're interested in pursuing artificial intelligence, we want to have those data conversations. We come up with a master data management plan to streamline their data, turn the unstructured data to be as structured as possible so that their custom agent that we would build for them would have the most accurate information and not rely on inferences or hallucinating, fake or incorrect data, because that would obviously be one of the biggest detractors, right? Is if they don't have an accurate data model or up to date data model, or if it's things that are, duplicate management is something that we obviously struggle with a lot. So if it's not represented within the structured data model, then the agent can falter. So I think we do a lot of data workshops, especially with our newer implementations for clients. We'll help either migrate their data from legacy systems, so that way it's in a structured environment, so that we put them in those custom objects that would house the data, and then that can be utilized for the agent. And if they're not sure exactly what their spend is going to be, we use Salesforce's free product Foundations, which includes a free agent that they can kind of test and play around with, and we can build an agent for them, so that they can use an internal agent and kind of figure out what their needs are, and just kind of get again more comfortable with the product, because it's still very new. So we definitely want to start there. We start with the structured data, and then we start with Foundations, and then if they want to purchase a full Agentforce licensing, once they get comfortable with it, they can do that.
Got it. And you mentioned internal agents is kind of a safer way to go. It's not client facing, it's more lever to help teams internally. So, what are some examples or use cases of these internal agents that you've seen clients launch?
Yeah. So the most recent one we did was for a publishing company, and they asked us to design an internal agent to utilize a knowledge base so that they can answer customer questions. And they might be on the phone call with a customer who got an incorrect delivery or a shipment, and they want to be able to be like, hey, what's the process for handling this specific product return, or how do we handle this refund? And then it searches through the knowledge base that we help design for them to give it that accurate information. So I'd say that is definitely the biggest use case, is being just a support, so they don't have to rifle through their price books. They don't have to go through those refund processes. They can have the agent help assist that, and it helps. We're waiting to get some official numbers on how quickly it's streamlined it, but I would guarantee probably their time to close for their open cases, their one call resolution numbers have gone up significantly from that implementation.
Awesome. That's really really good to hear. And in terms of Salesforce professionals to prepare for AI and how things keep evolving,
Mhm.
where do you think specialization will go to in the next 5 years? Do you think we'll have more like data architects or more like prompt engineers? Think we're gonna see more like generalists, or things gonna be more specific? Like how do you see the role of Salesforce professionals evolving over the years?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think prompt engineers, LLM engineers, I know Salesforce has the ability to import your own LLM. So companies can design their own language models based off of their own, specifications. I think the other thing is Agentforce vibes, like being able to be a vibe coder is going to be a big one, and knowing and understanding what kind of prompts to give it, and have it sweep through your entire metadata and know exactly what you're talking about, and be able to design any other features that you would ask it for. And that's going to continue to grow and scale over the next 3 to 5 years. I would imagine Salesforce Vibes can implement fully functional, Apex classes, Lightning Web Components in a breeze. And that's going to continue to grow and scale and improve, I would assume. So definitely being a prompt engineer, LM designer, and Agentforce Vibes coder would be the big three specializations I think would be good for Salesforce professionals to focus on, and be really experts at.
Love it, love it. And last question here on my end: if you could give one piece of advice to a company that maybe they feel they are under leveraging Salesforce or not fully utilizing everything, they don't really feel ROI or the investment is paying off. What's some advice you would give them? What's one thing they should audit, or how can they go about that problem?
Yeah, I think we would probably start at the beginning. What is their why? Like, why did they decide to move forward with Salesforce? What sort of business process were they trying to solve? And then we take it from there and look at their original implementation. How is this designed initially? What can we do to improve, to make the adoption rate better, to have your user base feel like this is actually helping us work better, more efficiently. The biggest thing is tracking KPIs, like I was saying, right? We want to increase their time to close rate, their one call rates, for especially for customer service, their opportunity win rates. There's all these metrics that we want to track, and having the data to back that up is essential. But if the adoption rate's bad, they're not using the system the way it was designed, you're going to get bad data, and then that's going to result in senior leadership being like, why did we buy this? It's not being utilized effectively. We're not seeing the return. We're not seeing the data points that we need to validate this purchase. So yeah, I think I would start with that, is having clear cut requirements and then redesigning the project or the implementation to be a better use case for the user experience.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that advice and definitely appreciate the conversation, Andrew. If people want to learn more about you, get in touch, learn more about how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can look us up on radianthub.com. You can submit a link there with your contact information. We're more than happy to reach out to you and have a conversation. If you want to discuss implementation or perhaps being your Salesforce partner in a managed service capacity, we have a lot of versatile assets. We have over 90 certifications, I believe, and continuing to grow our team exponentially over the next few years. So we see tremendous opportunity. We just became Crest level partners, which is very exciting. We just celebrated our 6-year anniversary yesterday. So we're really proud of the fact that we're able to become Crest level partners within those 6 years, and looking forward to reaching the summit here very soon.
Awesome. Awesome. It was a great conversation, Andrew. I truly appreciate your time.
Thank you so
Have a good one.